Hey guys, Mustang here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so we did the little breakdown earlier with the reveal of the LR, Tapion and Minosha, and we showed off their animations. Still blown away by the absolute insane quality of those animations. But yeah, today we are going to talk about the category, the new Warriors of Legend category. Obviously that is one half of Tapion and Minosha's leader skill along with Siblings Bond. So we're going to have a look at the category. We're also going to have a look at like how it matches up with Siblings Bond and what units on there will be good for running with the new Tapion and Minosha. So this is a screenshot of the category that we have up here. So we got some interesting units on here. Now when it comes to LRs, obviously there's not a huge amount. We got the Team Bardock, we've got the Demon King Piccolo, the OG LR Bardock, and then of course Bojack as well. So you can see at the bottom here as well, Bojack, the STR Dokkan Fest is on here as well. So obviously that is an already existing, like pretty powerful rotation that you can run on this team. We've got all of the Bardocks. It seems like almost every version of Bardock is on here. So we've got the AGL transforming one, we've got the Grey 8 ones, the whole free-to-play Team Bardock is on here, and then the Marseillan is on here as well. So basically every iteration of Bardock. Yep, there's Super Saiyan 4 Bardock as well, a little bit further down. So yeah, pretty much every version of Bardock is on the team, which, you know, I'm not going to complain about that. You boy, another category that I can use the Bardocks on. Let's go. So hopefully these Super Saiyan and the Super Saiyan 2 Bardock will get a easy A sometime soon, because they're on quite a lot of categories where they could actually provide a really decent amount of support for that team, not just with their, you know, the support passive, but with their links and everything. They would fit into quite a few teams really well now, but unfortunately when it comes to harder content they are starting to show their age a little bit. So then we have the Boo units. So kind of like Space Traveling Warriors, it looks like we only have the Fat Boo and actually no, Fat Boo's not Space Traveling Warriors, right? So we got Fat Boo, Kid Boo and Buff Boo. I'm the only thing I'm looking for, yeah. So we don't have Boo-Han or like Super Boo or Boo Tanks, because from my understanding of the category, it is obviously based around warriors who like have been spoken of in legend, kind of thing. So I guess, to be fair, the concept of like Boo Tanks and Boo-Han and stuff didn't obviously exist until he was re-released upon the world to absorb those particular members of the Z Fighters, who obviously then, you know, affected his transformation. So I guess it makes sense that they're not on here. Demon King Piccolo obviously is one of the OG like legends. Bojack was I don't know if it's as much as he's a legend, but obviously he was sealed away in King Kai's planet. So obviously there's like I guess the story about him like already existing, even though pretty sure it's never mentioned outside of the movie because of how the sort of movie universe canon works. But there's also a few heroes and like Xenoverse units on here. So you can see we've got Demigra, we've got the Dark Mask King is on here. Obviously technically Xeno King Vegeta. There is no... Yeah, well, actually, yeah, the OG King Vegeta is on here as well. So King Vegeta, I guess technically he's like a legend in terms of the story of like OG Dragon Ball Z, I guess. Like, as much as Bardock is a part of like the history of that story, then I guess King Vegeta is as well. Shame he doesn't have any good cards outside of technically the Dark Mask King, I guess. So that's actually quite cool. So all the Bardocks and King Vegetas, including the like Timebreaker variants, are on here. So that's kind of cool. And then the actual, like, the other demon form of Demigra is on here, the physical support one. So that's interesting. There's definitely an interesting spread of extreme units on here, because, yeah, Zangia's on here as well as Bojack. So actually, if we look down here, yeah, his whole crew is on here. So even the ones that only have, like, the R and SR cards are on the category as well. Obviously, the only other Minosha in the game is on here. Pycon being on here is kind of interesting to me. I guess he's a legendary fighter from another like galaxy, and that's why he was kind of in that tournament in the filler with Goku, right? Because he's like, Goku's the champion from King Kai's galaxy, and then Pycon is from, I can't even remember which quadrant he's from, but I guess that kind of explains like him being on there. I guess that's interesting because obviously that's another category for the new Pycon. Yeah, new Pycon's up there, of course. So that's an interesting one. Exchange Boo's on here as well. Gotta love Exchange Boo. West Kai is on here. That's interesting. Wait, so are all of the Kais on here then? Because why is West Kai on here and not... Yeah, so... West Kai and then the old, like... the Fat Supreme Kai that Boo absorbs to become Fat Boo. Is it because they're part of the legend of Boo, I guess? Because Kid Boo absorbed the Buff Kai who doesn't have a card in the game, which so it makes sense he's not on here, and becomes Buff Boo. And then absorbs this guy to become the Fat Boo. So, does West Kai get absorbed before that? I guess she's just... I guess, what, she's on here because she's part of the legend of Majin Buu, I guess? So she seems kind of like a weird unit to be on here. Especially because she's a Realm of Gods support unit. So, outside of, like... Is Demigra on... Yeah, Demigra's on Realm of Gods. That's basically it, right? Demigra and then that other Kai that you would never use because he's the really awful unit from the barbershop. So West Kai being on here is kind of weird because you'd probably never use her. And then obviously the Tapion's on here as well. Kid Buu. Yeah, so there's an interesting selection of units. I think that covers all the like separate characters. Chilled. Maybe one day Chilled will get a good card. And then he's on here. Because yeah, even the Heroes version of Pycon is on here as well. So that's interesting. So, if we have a look at the Siblings Bond category, obviously we've seen this quite a lot. I think one of the good things about how this is going to cross over with the Warriors of Legend is with all the Saiyan units. So, for example, like I was saying, the Bardoks, especially if they get easy A's. Super Saiyan 4 Bardock is a really good unit, even though he's only an SSR. But he requires crossover allies to be on the team. And there are a bunch of them on here, like we got Mars Saiyan, Dark Mars King, the Demigra cards, but you have to have quite a lot of them, so you pretty much have to build the team entirely around just having him on there, so I don't think that's particularly feasible, but the fact that we've got a few other Saiyans on here is definitely going to help out. The LR Team Bardock, even though we don't have all the copies for them available, they are technically a super type support unit as well, so they can kind of fit on the team as a third slot floater. And of course the god himself, Kid Buu, for those showcases with that extra 50% is on here. So I think there's going to be some interesting crossover. So if we look at Tapion's links, this is another thing to consider as well. So he has very similar links to the Tech Tapion, that's why I brought him up here. Obviously they don't have Revival, they have Legendary Power, the LR. But the Tech or AGL Tapion are obviously going to be one of their best link partners. But then when we start to look down and we think about the units that are on like Siblings Bond and this new category, I guess the Tech Pycon is here. But like the AGL one, who's probably the only, you know, like the only Pycon you probably would run, has very different links. So he's like way down here in the 2 links partner section, which is not ideal. And then when we come to 3 links, I guess we got this Gohan, who's obviously on Siblings Bond and is very, very good. So he's definitely an interesting choice. I did mention that in the original video. This Demigra actually. One of them is Revival, which I guess the LR doesn't have, so not as good because he's on the category as well. So it's kind of interesting when it comes to units who are actually on the category with them. There's not like a really good link partner outside of the other Tapion units. But the thing about the LR is, of course, the fact that they are a Warriors of Legend and Siblings Bond support unit. So I don't know if you necessarily would want to be doing that, but like if you're running this team with double LR Tapion and Minotia leads, you could use them as third slot floating units because they are providing that massive amount of support. Their active skill provides support as well. So I mean, I guess that is one feasible way you could do it, because outside of another Tapion, they don't really have a super good link partner on either of these categories really. I do think, like I said, the Tech Gohan rotation would actually be pretty good. But yeah, definitely interesting. So overall, I think the category is certainly very interesting. Again, it seems like another one of these new categories where the criteria for who should be on it seems a little bit confusing, and maybe other people should be on there. Like we said in the initial video, like if we're talking about Warriors of Legend, like even though it's not, the legend isn't specifically about Goku, but you'd think that like Namek Goku, for example, would be on here, like Goku becoming the first Super Saiyan for however many like years it's been. Broly would be on here because of the legend of the legendary Super Saiyan, so it's kind of weird that he's not on there. So yeah, it definitely seems a bit weird. I do think the team overall could be very good with the combination of Siblings Bond and then obviously the new category itself. But certainly interesting, so I guess we'll have to wait and see once it's live in-game what kind of interesting teams can be made out of this. So let me know what you guys think of the category down below. If you are on JP, will you be summoning for Tapion and Minosha? Would you summon for them anyway, I guess, because the unit is very cool? Or does the categories affect... Because I know some people, like, you know, you might love the unit, but if you can't think of any way you'd ever want to run their team, then, you know, maybe not worth actually going for it. But I guess we'll have to see. So let me know what you guys think down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.